Hey everybody, it's Kephsie. I just wanted to take a few minutes to answer one of the biggest questions I get in my streams, and that is about my barbarian. A lot of people seem like they want to know about his gear, um, his stats, the skills that I use. I know a lot of people are playing Pit Zerkers right now, or at least the Berserker Barbarians, and I personally don't care for them. I don't like the playstyle for it. I don't like the telly, smack one thing, keep moving. It's just not how I play. I don't find that enjoyable. So I made a whirlwind barb. I solely run Trav. I don't do pits and stuff like that. You can. He's able to do it. It's not that he can't. It's that I just don't do it. Um, his magic find sitting over here. I'm sitting at 401 magic find and 425 extra gold just on my main hand, and then swapping over, you have 880 magic find and 880 gold find, 603 magic find. I average between 1 and 300k per run for gold, which is perfectly fine. He's not a straight gold find barb, he's a magic find barb. You know, he finds a lot of good gear out here at Trav. I've dropped SOJs, I drop high runes, I drop skill GCs, you name it, I've probably found it at Trav. I am using a Grief phase blade. Not the best one, 34 384. It's one I rolled. I got really lucky. I found a low rune out here. So I made this. It actually took the place of my Breath of the Dying Thunder Maul, which I was using that for a very long time. It's got a lot of max damage on it. And any Breath of the Dying, any Grief, any barbarian weapon that does a lot of damage will do just fine out here. I was using Razor's Edge Tomahawks before I got Breath of the Dying. These things worked amazingly. 40% increased attack speed, minus target defense, and deadly strike. His whirlwind was doing so much damage. I am using a fortitude. I rolled this very early on when the game came out um, for a boson, and I decided I didn't like her, so I kept it around on mercenaries for a while. I finally settled on putting it on this guy, and it helps out so much. That 300% increased damage is absolutely amazing. The extra life is so helpful, and the resistances. It rolled low, and that's perfectly fine. My res is still sitting at 54 for fire res, and that's the big one out here. Fire res for Trav. I am using it up to Ariats. I found a really cool jewel out here. It was 29% enhanced damage, 30% cold res, 7% damage taken goes to mana, and minus 15% to requirements. That's the only reason I even upped the Ariats in the first place, because an upped Ariats requires a strength of 196, and that was a little high. It's a little harder to get to. You got to put more points into it. So that minus 15% requirements was a big thing for it. He's using a Seraph's for his amulet, plus 2 skills. That's hard to beat. And then on top of that, it's got 48% damage to demons. That helps out tremendously. Again, just like the Griefs. 170% damage to demons, 48% damage to demons. He's stacking some damage out here. I've got some double up chances. Mantled for the 6% mana leech. I found personally that I felt like I needed the mana leech for it. Um, it's not a 100% necessity, but there are times with the mana burn out here from Galeb Flamefinger that it got a little hairy. So upped gold wrap, 30% magic find, and 79 gold find. It helps out. Plus the 10% increased in attack speed is great. A random rare ring that I found out here just so I could have some life leech because the build didn't have enough with just the 3% that I got from my Ariats. And then some more travelers. They were hard to beat. They were great. Plus 10 to strength is awesome. 15 to 25 damage helps out quite a bit. And then magic find. He's got a barb torch. It's, it's a good rolled one, but any barb torch will do. I run a bunch of 7 magic find small charms. I felt like that was the way to go. So that way I had enough damage on my gear that I could take out Trav no problem. I have 2 6s that I just picked up for placeholders. 1 Warcry's GC because that's all I really had room for because I try to leave 8 spots open in my inventory. 7% faster run walk, 8 max damage, 76 to attack rating. A little bit of max damage doesn't hurt. The attack rating's nice. That 7% faster run walk was great on there too, because I don't run Enigma, so my run speed's a little slow, and I don't have Telly. And then a Geeds. My swap hand, I used 2 Isted Alibabas. That was, in my opinion, the best way to go for it. It gave me gold find, and it gave me a ton of magic find. I do have in my stash, I have a few extra Warcry GCs, just if I feel like swapping anything out, easy to do. Some Gore Riders, some Drax, and those aren't for the life tap because life tap does not proc on Whirlwind. So they were more for the 10% life leech and the 13 to strength because without my War Travelers on, my strength wasn't enough to use my R8 still. And then I have a Spirit and an Echoing Giant Sword with a Verdungos. Let me go ahead and show you guys what he can do out here. He clears Trav pretty quickly. And another thing too, the really, really cool quick cast system that they put in now is absolutely amazing for pre-buffing. That was just him berserking one of them down. Anyway, sorry. The pre-buff with the quick cast, it makes it super easy, especially if you have the extra buttons on the side of your mouse. I have mine toggled to, or bound to 5, 6, and 7, so that way I don't override my potions. But all you have to do is just tap, in my case, 5, 6, and 7, and it pre-buffs. It switches to your skill and then switches back to your skill you were using before. And that's it for Trav. So you kill him, you hork all the items that you can, grab all your gold, and do it again. It's super easy. Like I said, I found a lot of good stuff out here. Oh, would you look at that? We've got a ring and a grand charm right on the first go. Nope, we are not going to go back. There we go. Let's see what they are. We got a 21 Naggle and a Trap GC. So, I mean, you find some okay stuff out here. Naggle may not be the best, but I just found an SOJ earlier today. So, that's a little hard to beat. You can find most things out here. My stat setup, 190 in my strength. I have 196 for my dex with an average chance to hit on 80. That felt like it was enough for me. I have Angelic set in my stash too, just in case if I really need to go kill something else, like if we're doing chaos runs or anything like that. 13k defense with my shout. That, you know, I don't need a shield with that. 26% chance to hit me is low enough that I can sustain a few hits, and then everything else right into vitality. Boost your life as much as you can. For my skills, 1 point into Howl, 16 points into Shout just because I ran out of points to put into it. I'll be maxing that as I get the next few levels still. Max out battle orders always. The life mana, that helps out so much. 1 point into battle command, you don't really need more than that. It doesn't add more skills or anything. It just adds more time. Always max your mastery. If you're using axes, max axes. If you're using maces, max maces. I use swords. 1 point into all of these. You can definitely put more points into natural resistance or increased speed though. Those help out a lot, especially if you're not using Enigma. When you're just trying to run, the increased speed is amazing. Natural resistance I would recommend that over the increased speed, just so you're a little tankier, but it's really personal preference. And then max out Whirlwind for him, and 1 point into Berserk because there are times where you run into Fizz immunes out there. So this allows you to kill them still. So that's the basics of the Trav Barb though. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, go ahead, you can drop them in the comment section below, or you can pop on into my stream at Kephsie92 on Twitch TV. And go ahead and ask me in there. I'll be happy to help you guys out. Until next time, have fun.